Imagine stepping into the shoes of one of history's most complex figures, a man whose words inspired nations and whose decisions shaped the fate of millions. That's exactly what Gary Oldman did in Darkest Hour, the war drama that captured hearts, stirred emotions, and earned an incredible 86% rating from critics. But what truly made this performance unforgettable wasn't just the historical weight of Winston Churchill. It was how Oldman transformed into him so completely that audiences forgot they were watching an actor. His voice, his movements, even the way he breathed, felt like Churchill himself had returned to life. And behind that transformation was not just talent, but an almost obsessive dedication. Hundreds of hours of makeup, endless study, and a fierce determination to do justice to a man who carried the weight of the free world on his shoulders. Gary Oldman didn't just act the part of Winston Churchill, he became him. For over a year before filming began, Oldman immersed himself in every aspect of Churchill's life. He listened to old recordings, studied his posture, and practiced his iconic gravelly voice until it felt second nature. But even with all that preparation, there was one hurdle he couldn't overcome alone: his appearance. That's where legendary makeup artist Kazuhiro came in. Together, they spent over 200 hours in the makeup chair, crafting the illusion. Layers of prosthetics, paint, and detail, so intricate that even Churchill's family members were stunned by the resemblance. And yet, what made Oldman's performance truly remarkable wasn't the makeup or mimicry. It was the humanity he brought to every glance, every pause, every flicker of doubt behind those determined eyes. Beneath the surface of Churchill's commanding speeches and fiery determination, Oldman managed to reveal something deeper: the burden of leadership. There's a moment in Darkest Hour when Churchill, faced with the horrifying reality of war, quietly acknowledges the sacrifices he must make. It's not just about strategy or politics. It's about the cost of being the one who decides who lives and who dies. Oldman captures that inner conflict with remarkable subtlety. A tremor in his hand, a glance that lingers too long, a sigh that feels centuries old. In those quiet moments, the audience sees not the legend, but the man. Vulnerable, uncertain, human. And that's what separates this performance from mere imitation. It's not a history lesson. It's an emotional experience that pulls you right into the smoke-filled war rooms of 1940 London, where the weight of the world rested on one man's weary shoulders. As the story unfolds, we watch Churchill confront not only Hitler's advancing army, but also political enemies within his own government. Gary Oldman portrays these scenes with an intensity that feels almost explosive, yet grounded in realism. Every argument, every defiant stand against those urging negotiation feels like watching a man fight his own doubt as much as his opponents. One of the film's most powerful moments comes when Churchill, exhausted and isolated, takes the London Underground to speak directly with ordinary citizens. It's a beautifully humanizing scene. He listens, learns, and finds renewed strength from the people he's fighting for. Oldman's subtle expressions in that moment tell a story no dialogue could. You can feel the shift, the weight lifting just enough for him to rise again, ready to face Parliament, ready to rally a nation with the words that would echo through history. "We shall fight on the beaches." That legendary speech is the emotional climax of Darkest Hour, and Gary Oldman delivers it with electrifying force. Standing before Parliament, he channels Churchill's fierce determination, his unwavering belief in the British spirit. But what makes the moment unforgettable isn't just the words, it's the conviction behind them. Oldman's voice cracks in just the right places, his gestures deliberate yet raw, his eyes filled with both fire and fear. It's a reminder that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it. As the speech crescendos, you can feel the energy shift. The same parliament that once doubted him now rises in thunderous applause. The scene captures the heartbeat of a nation refusing to bow to tyranny, and Oldman's performance elevates it to something timeless. Watching him, you understand why this film struck such a chord with audiences and critics alike. What's fascinating about Darkest Hour is how it doesn't glamorize Churchill, but instead strips him down to his raw humanity. We see him at his most uncertain, pacing in dimly lit rooms, wrestling with impossible choices, and carrying the crushing loneliness of leadership. Gary Oldman gives these quiet moments the same weight as Churchill's fiery speeches. He shows the cost of greatness, the fatigue, the fear, the doubt that even heroes feel but never show. Director Joe Wright's cinematography adds to that tension, framing Oldman in shadows and tight spaces, as if the walls of power are closing in. Every flicker of candlelight, every cloud of cigar smoke feels intentional, drawing us into the claustrophobic urgency of those days. Oldman's performance is so immersive that you almost forget you're watching an actor. It feels like watching history breathe, argue, and endure right in front of you. And when the film reaches its emotional crescendo, that unforgettable "We shall fight on the beaches" speech, it's pure electricity. Oldman channels Churchill's fire so completely that you can feel the nation's pulse through his voice. The words are more than a rallying cry. They're a desperate act of hope against unimaginable odds. The scene in Parliament, packed with tension and doubt, transforms into a moment of unbreakable unity. It's not just Churchill inspiring Britain. It's Oldman reminding us all of the power of conviction in dark times. When he slams his fist on the desk, declaring they will never surrender, you can almost hear the echo through history. The crowd's roar, the tears, the relief. It's the birth of belief in the middle of chaos. That's the magic of this performance. Oldman doesn't just play Churchill. He makes us feel what it was like to need him. After the credits roll, you realize you've witnessed more than a historical drama. It's a masterclass in storytelling and transformation. Darkest Hour doesn't just revisit the past. It reminds us why courage and conviction still matter today. Gary Oldman's journey from the makeup chair to the Oscar stage mirrors Churchill's own climb from doubt to destiny. Every wrinkle, every pause, every fiery speech feels earned, lived in, and human. The Oscar he won wasn't just a trophy. It was validation of years of dedication to the craft, of losing himself completely to bring truth to life. And that's what makes this film timeless. It's about leadership under pressure, faith against fear, and one man's voice changing the course of history. Oldman didn't just play Winston Churchill, he became him. And in doing so, he gave us a film that will be remembered for generations.